Hello and welcome to a ToooAir dispatcher tutorial. This tutorial is a quick brief and run through of the user interactions and dispatcher display statuses of the ToooAir dispatcher software. In this tutorial, we have assumed that you've already installed the ToooAir dispatcher software and you're ready to begin operating the software. We need to run our software as administrator, so right-clicking, selecting Run as Administrator. We'll prompt the software to launch with administrator privileges. You enter in the details that you've been given by your local dealer. If you do not have these dealer account credentials, please contact your local dealer and they'll hand them to you. So if we left-click Login, our dispatcher will begin logging in. And we'll be given the dispatch display, which gives us our panes, which offers us all of the information connection statuses of our system. So once we've logged in, we can see that the line state has connected successfully, who we are logged in as, and we are logged in currently as dispatch, what group we are currently in, which is Bondi office, and the contact status is if who we are listening to at the current point in time. So if I start talking using a test ident, you can see 33 Sam was coming through on our contact line. The top menu item bar, which contains the refresh button, clicking this will automatically update the dispatch software with the latest information based off your radio system. Clicking and holding on the Group PDT button will put the dispatcher software into transmission mode. While this is happening, you can broadcast your voice through to your ToooAir radios, only to the single group that you are currently in with the Group PDT button. The All Call PDT button is the same as the Group PDT, however, it's now broadcasting to every single group that you are a member of. In this current scenario, we have Bondi Office, CBD, North Sector, and City. If I were to press this All Call button, I'll be talking across all four groups simultaneously. The Monitor Group button, we can simply left-click this once to instantly monitor every single group that we're a member of. So now I'm listening to all four groups at the same time. So it doesn't matter what group I'm actively in, I'll still get audio through from all the other groups that I'm a member of. We can cancel the All Monitor Group button by simply left-clicking that again. And you'll notice that the arrow icons are no longer purple, signifying that they're no longer being monitored. We also have call logs, contacts, and the options button. For the call logs, please view the recordings and GPS track information tutorial for more in-depth guide on those ones. Likewise, with the options button, please view the dispatcher system, options and settings for more in-depth guide on that as well. So moving down, we have from the top status line, we have our panes. So the fixed group pane will display all the groups that you're a member of. We can adjust this group pane if we'd like to make the groups more visible or display it appropriately. And then on the right hand side, we have the interactive pane. This pane changes to what you'd like to currently view at the time. So for argument's sake, if I want to view the contacts, if I left click contacts, it'll change the pane to the contacts pane. If I want to view the call logs, I can left click call logs and change it to the call logs pane. There's also up and coming is a pitches pane as well. So eventually we hope to broadcast pitches across the system to radios and applications. And in the middle here, we have our user display area. which can be changed from a user display area or to the map tab. For the map tab, for more in-depth information on that one, please view the map interaction tutorial for that one. For the user list, we also have a filter bar. We can start typing in a letter and it will instantly filter out the users that we have in our fleet to what we are typing in. Please note it is case sensitive. So when you're typing in your letters, just to make sure you've got it either capitalized or non-capitalized. Just moving forward, the group pane, we can actually customize which group we would like at the top of our pane. So currently we have Bondi Office, but if I'd prefer to have the city at the top, I can just click on these arrows up or down to move it up or down our group pane. The GPS information tab or display tab down the bottom offers the full GPS display of our radios. This information will only be delivered if the radio has a GPS fix and requires the radio to be 4G or an application to gain the information for direction and elevation. As we can see here, Sam has last got a fix at 220. So yes, that is correct. We are at 220. We also have the received messages tab here. So if I were to be receiving messages from our applications, they will be in here that we can view them. Likewise, we can view our sent messages that we've sent from the dispatcher to users here, and fence event actions that are from the geofence actions. However, please view the geofence tutorial for more in-depth information on geofence. For the users and group interactions, so with our users from our dispatcher, there is several interactions we can do from the dispatcher. So if we go to the user list display, we can right click on a user and we get given a list of interactions we can do with this user. We can send the user a message, we can create an individual call or a dynamic group call. We can disconnect the user from the group. We can stun the user. Now, stunning the user permanently disables the radio or application. If you do this, you'll need to contact your local dealer to have this revoked or reactivated. So please use that in extreme duress circumstances in the event of a radio or application being stolen or compromised. The lone worker timer, we can set the lone worker timers. Please review the SOS duress and lone worker timer tutorial for more in-depth information on the lone worker timer. And we can also view the user on the map. Again, please view the map interaction tutorial for more in-depth information on that. So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create the individual calls and interact with our groups. So just right-clicking on the user, left-clicking dynamic group has now instantly created an individual private call with this one user. So if I now broadcast to this one user, only this one user will be listening in on the broadcast. To exit out of this individual call, I can right-click from our group pane and select Enter into Group to get back into a previous group that I was originally in. Also, you would have just noticed it actually did that automatically. We have an automatic group duration timeout, which can be found on the options underneath duration of temporary group, which I've currently got set for 20 seconds. So if I wanted to do a temporary group call, the same process can be done, however, just multi-selecting users. So right-clicking and dragging across multiple users, and then left clicking and dragging across multiple users, and then right clicking will give us the option of a dynamic group call across multiple users. Again, you can exit that temporary group call by right clicking on our group pane and selecting enter into group again. Now, users can be manipulated across your system from the multiple groups that we have set. The groups are pre-programmed, so when you purchase your ToooAir system, please let us know how many groups you would like. We recommend groups to be based off how your current company operates. So for argument's sake, you have a support team or a supervisor team. We predefine groups based off essentially your teams. So let's say Bondi office, I'm talking to Sam, and now I've jumped into the city and I want now Sam to be in my city group. I enter into the city group by right clicking on city, left clicking enter into group. You'll see now that I've actually changed to city from our status display up here. If I right click on Sam, you'll notice it's a yellow icon. And underneath it's currently saying Bondi office. So the user's not actually in city. So if I were to PDT, this user can't actually hear me right now. So to fix this, I can right click, select force to join. And that will force the user into this group. As you can see now, the user has changed to this group and the icon is now blue. So now if I talk back to this guy, this user, he will be able to hear me when I'm talking through, and like vice versa. So that's how we can force and manipulate users into different groups. We can do this across any groups, as long as the users are a member of the groups you'd like to force them into. Further, we can send messages to users. If we right click on a user and left click send a message, we actually get our message dialog, message menu. From here, we can start typing in a message. We can send out our message to the user. This is compatible with both ToooAir radios and our applications, iOS or Android. And if now the user responds back with receive your message, you can see now we've now got back a message from this user. And if we go navigate down to our received message tab, we can actually see what the message was, and it's I have received your message. Lets us know who it was from and what time we have received that message. If we wanted to check what we had sent that user, we can click on the Sent Message tab. And now we can see that this is a test message, please respond, as we've just sent, and it tells us who we sent it to and what time we have sent that to. We can also set up predefined messages. So if you're sending out constant messages at the start of every work shift or something, we can set up automated templates. So if I create this little template here, I've given it a name and then a body content for our message. If I now go back to our send message, I can tick yes to a message template, select the template that I just created, start work now, and I have now, and it has populated from the body content of that templated message. So that's the individual calling and sending text messages to your radios or applications. More in depth on the disconnect is to basically remove a user out of the group that they're in. So if a user's mucking up or swearing or being inappropriate, you can actually disconnect the user from the group just to make sure that they don't keep broadcasting all over the group. So we can do basically all of these interactions in our group pane as well. So we can send message to the entire group. So every single user inside that group will now receive this message instead of just the one individual user. We can also leave a group by selecting leave conversation. We also have monitor group. So like mentioned earlier, the monitor group button up the top monitors every single group at once. However, we can customize which groups we'd like to monitor. So we can actually monitor individual groups instead of every single group. For display group members on the map, please view the map interaction tutorial for more in-depth information on that feature. This has been the group interaction and user interaction for the ToooAir dispatcher. Thank you for